Hello everyone, Dr. Aisha Bonner-Kozad here. I like to do this overview video just to try and help people get the most out of the class. We'll start with an overview of the syllabus. I promise I will not read all 26 pages to you, and then I'll go through the Blackboard site. Obviously here you can see all of my contact information. I don't mind you using my cell phone. I prefer you text and only call if it's a real emergency. Please use my Gmail. I don't check my Howard email every day, so if you really need something, if you send it to the Howard, no guarantee I'll get it, whereas I'm on my Gmail all the time. Since this is an online course, we will have virtual office hours. I will be online every Tuesday from 8 to 9 in the Blackboard Collaborate, and I'll point out to you when we go over the website, the learning environment. I'll point that out to you where you can log into that. And I'm also available by appointment. I've got a pretty flexible schedule, so I haven't really had issues with that before. So, you know, I know you have several other classes and a life, but I look at the syllabus as the contract between teacher and student, and you should know what you're signing up for, is how I feel. So think of it as a, terms of agreement. Here's what's going to happen. Here's what you're going to get. Let's be accountable to each other for making it a great semester. We do focus on the Black perspective, and that's university-wide. But I've put them in the syllabus just so you have easy access to them. They're also on the learning environment. And I'll let you go through all of these objectives and the core competencies. These are the things you should be able to do when you're done with the class. And you're paying to learn that, so I would take that seriously. When we talk about the competencies, this chart here really gives you the breakdown of the behavior, where you're going to learn that, and when you'll be getting it in the class. So just good things to know. This is your text. We're using Blau. And I actually think that date is incorrect. It's the 2014 version. Supplementary text. Course requirements. Super briefly, you can't be in the class if you aren't registered. I do run your written assignments through a plagiarism guide. I do have a threshold at which I will begin looking deeper if there are issues. If you're struggling, if you don't think, if you're not 100% sure you know what plagiarism is, let's have that discussion. But everything you do should be your own work. And if you want to use someone else's intellectual material, there's a proper way to do that. And the APA guide is very clear. If you're not sure you understand that, reach out to me. If you have any special needs, please let me know. You should have documentation from the Office of Student Services. However, with the online class, I have found that not many students have struggled just because of the way the class is set up. But if you do have any sort of special need, please let me know. There is academic support service that can help with English writing skills, and I encourage anyone who feels they need that to take advantage of it. Here's what I know about writing. The only way you get better is to write, have it critiqued, and to write again. And that's not just for students. It's the same in my professional life. The more you do it and the more critical assessment you get of your work, the better writer you become. And we should all be striving for that. If you have witnessed or experienced any type of interpersonal violence, please reach out to the Interpersonal Violence Prevention Program. The number is here, counseling services, and the website if you need that information. Howard is equal opportunity. That should go without saying. I've kind of hit on the writing issues, but writing across the curriculum is an initiative that the school is following. If you want more information about that, you can look it up here. I highly, highly recommend, if you are not 100% familiar with APA, if you're not sure that you know it well enough, the manual is excellent. Obviously, it has all of the information, but it can be a little difficult to go through. The OWL at Purdue website, that's right here, is by far the best APA resource I have ever seen. I used it when I was in graduate school. It really has a great way of breaking down all of the various things that you need to be doing in terms of your citations, your references, the style in which APA, and you know, it's very possible that you've never used APA before. You might be more familiar with MLS or the Chicago style. So APA is different. It has its own peculiarities. I would encourage you to peruse this OWL site so you can get that up. I will say that I definitely, absolutely will be grading your formal papers based on your adherence to APA. So you know that now. Be prepared for that. Let's see. It goes without saying your assignments are due when they're due. They should be on time. They should be done professionally. They should be completed on a computer. I think that's optimal. So mutual aid, definitely connect with someone in the class. Since we're not in person, you're not going to miss in-class notes, and all of the material is here. But it's still good to be connected with someone for help. The technology requirements are here. Basically, any computer purchased in the last 5 to 6 years will meet these requirements. On the Blackboard site, there is actually it might be in the SETLA site, but anyway, the link is here, right here in this paragraph. If you click here, you'll be taken to a compatibility checker that will let you know if your computer is missing anything. And obviously the computers in the iLab are, all set up. You don't need to be a computer whiz, but you do need to be comfortable navigating, since this is our learning platform. Everything is online. Please make sure you take the plagiarism quiz. As I mentioned before, it's a real stickler for me. You should be checking into your class a couple times a week to check any announcements. The announcements will also come to your email. So let me reiterate, to ensure that the email that is in your Blackboard account, which is not the same as your Howard email or anything like that, when you get into Blackboard at the top, and I'll point this out when I review the site, make sure that Blackboard has the email that you actually check, because it will automatically send you announcements. I think when I grade your papers, you get an announcement. There are a lot of different sort of automated things that the learning environment will send you, but the announcements will come directly to your email. So make sure I have the one that you will actually look at. And there's discussion board assignments every week, sometimes more than one. Sometimes it's a discussion board question and an activity. So you have both the responsibility to post a response and also to respond to your classmates. So you really have to stay on top of that. I think the biggest problem I've had in the past is students think, oh, well, they're only worth a few points. But when it comes down to the difference between a B and a C, or an A or B, those discussion board posts can make the difference. So don't ignore them. Don't toss them to the curb. And you also have to see how they're weighted. So they might not be worth a lot of points, but they are worth 10% of your grade. So right there, you see that's an entire letter grade right there. If you don't respond to half of the discussion post, there's no way for you to pass my class. That would be like you skipping 6 classes over the semester. You cannot pass. So please give them the attention they deserve. The feedback you give to your classmates cannot be, oh, I like your post. I like what you said. You can include that, but you must give a substantive feedback to your classmates. The discussion board is a critical part of the online learning environment. Your post must be 200 words and your replies at least 100. You'll see that echoed again. And yes, I do count. Not to be a jerk, but because they've done research on what's the optimal number of words to write and how that impacts learning. And this is the gold standard. So we want to give you the best opportunity to learn, using the information that we have. So I've already gone over that. So as I said, if you miss more than 6, you will definitely fail. That being said, I'm trying an experiment this semester. I saw some other teachers have instituted essentially what they call a mental health day for your course. So everyone has one assignment. They can let me know they need to use their mental health day, and you will not lose points. You will simply turn it in at the agreed upon time between the two of us. Everyone gets 1 per semester. And I think that's reasonable. It's something that happens in the work world. I can call in sick. I have a set number of sick days per year. And I hope that you use it responsibly. But it is yours to use. So we'll see how that goes this semester. All right, so you can look a bit more at this, but this is how you'll be measured. There will be 4 mini exams. You will have a short group paper. It's like 3 to 5 pages with an electronic presentation. So that is something, a PowerPoint, could be a Prezi, Google Slides. The format doesn't matter, but you must do a electronic presentation that you'll post and the class will respond. And you could include video in that or only audio, but you have to have one or the other. There'll be an intellectual biography. You'll have a policy paper. You will also be required to have an e-presentation for that. The policy paper is an individual work. I know people often don't like working in groups. So there's one group, and then, of course, you have an opportunity to do the policy paper on your own. And then, of course, class participation. I will work hard to get whatever work you've turned in back to you by the next class time. That sometimes does not happen, but I will try to keep up with that across the semester. So more detail about the assignments. There's even more detail online. Do not use Wikipedia for anything that you're going to submit to me. I think it's fine to use Wikipedia as a guide to offer suggestions, to get information, but that is not a website that you can use. It's not peer-reviewed, and while I think it is actually a great resource, it's not one that's acceptable for formal academic work. So, I think that's it here. And then the syllabus goes into the units of study. I will let you look through that. You'll see where we are. Week 1 and lecture 1, you'll see the setup. Week 2, lecture 2. They're all the same. So if it's week 5, then you're on lecture 5. If it's, lecture 7, you're on week 7. Just to cut down on confusion. You'll get your required readings, a short blurb on what we're doing for that week, so on and so forth. So that, of course, is the biggest part of the semester, or the syllabus. And then we end here with the course calendar. I've tried to make this as efficient as possible. You have the date, you have the topic, what's due or being assigned that week, all the way through the semester. You could take the whole class on your own if you wanted to do all the work from day 1. Okay, you have every piece of information about the class here. And that's not to say that something might change, but I've been teaching this class for a while, so we're pretty good at staying on point. All right, so please make sure you give that a thorough read. And now let's look at the Blackboard course. If I can find my websites here. Here we go. All right. So when you click on a class, you will start here at a page called Announcements. There are no announcements yet. There will be one shortly. But this will keep you up to date with me, anything that I need to share with you. You see there's this little start here, and this will just give you some guidance where to go, and a little welcome video from me, information about making sure your email is correct. So right here should be your picture or a circle with your initials. If you click on that, you can go to sort of like your Blackboard profile. Please make sure you update that email. Course basics, tons of info here. The syllabus, physical syllabus is here. I encourage you not to print it. If you don't need to, you can always get to it online. And just as a way to save some trees, the video will be here with the class overview. All of this information that's also in the syllabus is online if you would prefer. I'm 95% of the physical paper syllabus is actually reflected online. So, and certainly all of the important things are there. Course calendar right up top here, so you can always get to that. How you'll be graded, the brief on your assignments, the book, so on and so forth. And then the supplemental text are also there. Some people like to use this homepage. You're seeing my view, which is not the same as the student view. Yours will be populated with things that are due, what's coming up today, what's new. I have a slightly different menu in this homepage. Before we dive into the lessons, another area down at the bottom here under course management, my info is here, as well as resources, which are more information, some information on study skills, library resources, course requirements and resources. And I want to make sure to point out this. This is required reading. How to avoid using first-person point of view in academic writing. Every year I have students who use first-person in formal academic papers. So this year I'm trying this. I've put a pretty detailed sort of overview of what first person is, second person, third person, and why we use third person, and then some examples of how you would, if you had written something in first person, how you might then write it in third person. My expectation is that I will not see any first person. The only place where it would be acceptable is the discussion board, because that's more like an online conversation between, the 15 of us. But in your formal assignment, so that goes for your group paper, that goes for the intellectual biography, and most definitely your policy paper. You should not be using I, we, me, us, my, mine, ours, our. Okay? So anyway, please make sure you read this. I think I posted it in every written assignment. But it does make a difference in how your writing is perceived in terms of your professionalism, competency, because this is the standard for academic writing. And you are academics. So if you have any questions or concerns about this, please reach out. But it is the expectation. And I do take off for the use of first person in your formal papers. All right, so as I said, there is a brief group assignment. The groups have already been set up. You can view your group right here. And so, unfortunately, it doesn't tell you who's in what group. You have to actually click them. But when you do, you will see the group members here. All right, groups, anything else? Oh, you can click to get to the grade book if you need to email someone. It's pretty self-explanatory. So here in the units, so unit 1, again, take the plagiarism quiz first. You'll have videos to watch, and then each week you'll get, again, pulled right from the syllabus, And if it's got a little file folder, that means there's something for you to click in there. So this is the discussion board for introductions. This is due week 1, and then the introduction to social welfare policy. This discussion board is also due week 1, and then the PowerPoints are here as well. So you just have to dig into each week, make sure you've clicked everything that you can click and see what's there. And then this will be week 2. So everything is just, like I said, it's already laid out for you. I have the Blau reading for week 1 and 2 only because I know not everybody is able to get their books right away. I don't know what the book situation is, but this at least gives you a little room to wiggle if you're, waiting on your student loans or whatever the case may be. And you'll see that your first mini exam is due 9/9. Make sure you are doing your reading. The mini exams are based on the text, with the exception of the 4th one. Go through the other units, kind of preview, kind of get a sense of what's going on. The discussion board can be found here, as well as my virtual office hours. So I'm actually going to do that first. So virtual office hours will be every Tuesday from 8 to 9. I do sometimes have to change that, but I will send out an email, or if I have to cancel, I'll let you know. And in which case, if you really desperately need to talk to me, please make an appointment. When you click the link here, it's going to take you to the Blackboard Collaborate, and you'll see, for instance, that's the wrong, is that the wrong time? No, I need to fix the time in here. Anyway, you'll see what's coming up, and then you can click on the arrow and it will show you all the virtual office hours for the whole semester. And they're already set up for you. Okay. So, discussion board. Okay. So the discussion board, like I said, I've talked about it a lot. If you've never worked on an online class or been in an online class before, this is to emulate the in-room conversation, discussion, sort of critical thinking piece. So there are a couple things here. Just a reminder, your post should always be 200 words. Your reply has to be at least 100 words, with the exception of the introduction, which you don't need to reply to anyone's introduction unless you choose to. If you have a non-urgent question for me, like it could wait, you can put it here and I'll get back to you. If you all want to have some class chat, I don't actually go into the student lounge. Also, you can post anonymously, so feel free to do that. I'm more than happy to hear about any feedback from the mini exams. You can post throughout the whole semester here and let me know. And then the discussion board gets started. So it's both the vehicle for discussions, but it's also a place where you turn stuff in. So, and I'll scroll down in just a second and show you. But when you go into the forum, you can see that I've already posted my introduction. But if you're the first person in the forum, it will be empty and you're going to create a thread. And the thread will give you the questions, so you don't have to worry about trying to cut and paste it. You will always get the forum description, which is whatever the assignment is. And then you put your response here. You can post text, you can add attachments. I would prefer that you actually type your response into this format. I've had students in the past write them in Word documents and then attach them. That's an extra thing I have to do when I'm grading. If you want to write it so you can use your grammar checker, that's great. But then please just cut and paste it into Blackboard. A couple of tips. You can't actually cut and paste with your mouse. If you have something copied and you want to paste it, you just set your cursor and then you hit Control V. Okay? And if your text looks weird when you do that, this little item here removes the formatting, and you see how it's taken all of that away. So those are a couple little tricks that should help you out. I'm not actually replying to that. All right, so important. Don't click on my response and hit reply. You always want to start a new thread so that other folks can respond directly to your post. All right, so these are both due this week. I mean, next Monday. And that brings me to my next point. Your assignments, you have 6 days to complete all of your regular assignments. So this discussion board, introductions, and lecture 1 are for this week. As you can see, they're not due until next Monday. So you have from Tuesday to the next Monday to submit your assignments. Don't wait till the last minute. Don't wait till the last minute. Don't wait till the last minute. Remember, you have to reply to people. So if you all wait until the 25th to write your responses, you'll be up all hours of the night responding to your classmates. Don't do that to yourselves. This is the easiest part of the class to do, because when I grade, I'm grading on your effort. There's no right or wrong answer to any of these questions. You don't have to get it right. I need to see that you have followed the instructions, that you're making effort. I love to see your analytical thinking. I love to see you think outside the box. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for you to necessarily answer a right way. So take advantage of a great way to earn points in the class and improve your thinking and analytic skills. All right, so as you can see, discussion board, assignment. Here, before you begin writing on your intellectual biography, you need to post the list, the person, the social welfare pioneer that you feel like you want to write about. So you will post that here in a thread, and I will approve or not approve them, in which case, we can talk. So this is a very important place for posting. You do not ever post your papers here. And I'll show you that when we get to the assignments. Let's see. So we are going to do a snap challenge. So you can post your replies to that here. So like I said, your video presentations, your electronic group presentation, and your final presentation videos will go on the discussion board because other students are going to comment on them. For the lecture on food hunger, there is a discussion board, but there's also an activity. So you just need to make sure every week you're looking. Everything is grouped in chronological order. And I think that is all. And if you want to see all the discussion board posts on one page, I don't know if you guys have this capability, but you can tell it you want to see all of them for the whole semester on one page. Just keep scrolling. So you do have a couple opportunities for bonuses. And I know people like to take advantage of that sometimes. And at the end of the semester, this is where you will take the course evaluation, which will be online. All right, so assignments. Here you will get the details of each assignment. So the intellectual biography, here is the assignment information, and here is the turn-in link. If it is a formal paper, it will have a turn-in link, and it's all under the assignments. So when you are ready to turn in your paper, you will click here. It'll take you through a process. You upload your document. This is the discussion board where you post your Pioneer for approval. Same with the group policy. All of the information you need is here. So here is the information about it. Here's where you turn in the group presentation. Here's where you turn in your video presentation. And you guys also have a peer assessment for this assignment. And that's where you will turn this in. Everything has a place. You just need to look for it. Same for your policy paper. The information on the assignment, please read these. The papers are so easy if you follow the instructions. Turn-in link for your paper, turn-in link for your video presentation. Obviously, you can reach these things from different places, but I tried to group them together for you. And then your quizzes are right here. Again, they're also in the units. It doesn't matter where you take them from. And the plagiarism quiz is right here. All right. So I think that about covers it. Please take some time, as I keep saying this, I keep reiterating it because my experience is that students get busy. They either didn't do a good job of sort of prepping for the course at the beginning of the semester, or they just forget, didn't take time to scroll through, whatever the case may be. And people lose important points for silly reasons. Don't put yourself in that boat. I know people are often believe that online courses are somehow going to be easier. I don't necessarily believe that's the case. I think that they take as much time as an in-person course, and in some cases, more of your time. Having said that, I think they're also super manageable. You just have to set timelines, schedules. I encourage you all to download the Blackboard app. It's free. They have a couple of good tools there. And if nothing else, you can look at the material, look at your schedule, timelines, what's due. You can see all of that in the app, just as another way to stay focused on the course. That's it. We'll be talking soon.